Bird gang. This your boy Hyphen Jersey. You're tuning to Hyphen Eagles. First and foremost, if you're coming from different platforms, you can excuse me. If you're coming from different platforms, you can follow me on Twitter. That's where it's at right there. Young Jers, young underscore Jers 973. You can follow me there to keep update on the videos and everything. So you won't be behind and everything. But if you want to join in, you want to be involved with the podcast and everything, you could go ahead and follow the YouTube channel right there. That's what it is. Don't hesitate to subscribe, like, follow, all that, man. But yo, man, I'm just trying to get back on the road. Like, if you watch my last video, been under the weather since the last month. It been like, man, like everybody been getting sick lately. Like it's been crazy going on, but like, I'm feeling better, so I'm trying to get back at it. So bear with me with it. But yo, like, I'm just trying to console all this Philadelphia Eagles regular season nonsense that been going on since the first week one all the way into now to the last game until like going into the playoffs. Like it been a little crazy. Like hold on right quick. Switch around right there. My bad. I'm gonna put my fingers in your face and everything, but yeah, like it just been one of those type of that one of those seasons that just been like been all over the place. Like I never in my history of watching this team, just watching NFL period, never in my history saw a defense so horrible. What we having right now, like it just. We saw a lot ups and downs. I would say the defense was a little bit more better in the beginning of the season, but the type of teams we was playing, so it probably wasn't really getting exposed and probably wasn't really can't really see what they was lacking in, like but they was still wasn't all that either in the beginning of the season. But it was pretty a couple of the games that gave me hope for the defense, like and I was like, yo, okay, this defense look like they could kick up, get a little bit more experience as the season progressed. They'll look a little bit more better. But other than that, you know, they haven't. Like, they got worse when we start playing contender teams. Like it just trended downhill from there. Like, but yeah, like I never saw a defense since I've been watching this Eagles team since the McNabb area and the Terrell Owens and the Brian Dawkins era. Like, I've been watching since then, like, and I we had some bad defense before, but like, yo, this is horrible. This is really horrible. Like they out there playing like the GM, like Howie went out on the street and pick up some guys that was playing street ball and told them like, go ahead, go, let's play our Philadelphia defense for us. Like that's what it looked like. And they really not. Like, these are some guys that came in on the off season with good draft. Like, and at the same time, we got some people that trade and we had some injuries and everything, and I'm not gonna go put down enough on like the guys like Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, Sidney Brown, and some other cats that we pick up, some Georgia boy. I'm not gonna really put down on them because it's their first season. They had some good games, like especially Jalen Carter has a lot of good games that he showed. But it's just that I'm not gonna go down because it's they first year. They trying to build the chemistry of what's going on this defensive side. What our coaches and showing the side when we had him, and now with Matt Patricia. So like it just a lot of new stuff is going on. Like now, you got some guys that's coming on practice squad that's coming in. Eli Ricks, Rango, all these other cats that's coming in, and they knew too. Like so, but like I'm not coming down on them as on this defense on the player side as hard because they are new. They need experience. They need time to grow and develop. So I'm not gonna come down on the players of the defense side hard, but I gotta keep it blunt and I gotta tell her what it is. For them needing experience and for them needing that time to develop their IQ to understand what is the offense is offering them. Um, that that's what make them bad. Like that's what making this defense bad and horrible. Because it's like, it's too many players that's is inexperienced, too many players that's trying to learn the ropes. The it's just too much. Like you could have on the defensive side, you could have like a few players that's experienced, that inexperienced, that's trying to learn and trying to develop their skills and everything. But they are surrounded around players that's mostly players that knows the ropes and knows how to read offense and everything. But there that will help. But when you have a defense that really hardly have those type of players, besides on the defensive line, it's going to show. It's going to get exposed. You're going to see what's going to happen. And yeah, like because let's be blunt and let's just be to be honest. Bradbury is not that guy. He's supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be the experienced person to show the ropes. But how can you be a leader and show the ropes when you looking like them? How can you help out and lead these corners and everybody else excuse me, everybody else on the defense. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. Everybody else on the defensive side and everything. And how can you show that when you are struggling at yourself? And yo, he's not that guy. Like Bradbury, he's not gonna show these guys what to do. He's not gonna help them out because he's struggling himself. Slay, I would say Darius Slay, he's more of experience and he's be honest on that secondary is the only one that's more of a better a player. And he's 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 just a better player on that defensive side. But that being said, just because he's the better player doesn't mean that he doesn't struggle either. Like and that's just been the situation that's just been going on. We need somebody on that secondary that's is not struggling as much as everybody else is, and it's just been too many people. There's just been too many people that's like that, and like I don't understand. I don't understand on when they went out and they demoted Sean Desai of Philip. I don't understand what they was going for, what they expect that with Matt Patricia coming in and what he was going to do, knowing that his history of he hadn't really been a good defensive coach since the Patriots, and I don't know what they're expecting him to do. I understand that they didn't really see it's not so much of the coach's situation. It's so much of the players that's so inexperienced. Now I could get one aspect. Maybe they was like, okay, we do understand that we have these inexperienced players on the defensive side, but we need a coach that could try to put these inexperienced players in the right track. So I could understand a little bit in that aspect, but at the same time, like no, like these guys is just they don't really know. They don't know what they playing like they don't know what they're doing. Um, that Giants game the other day, yesterday, or was was a prime example. Like allow they just don't know. They don't know what the offense is giving them. They cannot read. They out of sync. They out of place. They just I just don't really. I don't. I'm sorry. As a true Eagles fan, like I just got to be honest. I don't really have so much hope for this defense, and I'm just saying the defense, not the team, because I always have hope for my team overall in general. I always got to keep hope, and I always have to why because I have to, no matter what, through the downs and out, I have to try to give some type of support to this team. Like, and so only support that I could give is to have hope in them that they would do something going into this Buccaneers game. And but with the defense, I just don't have no hope at all. Like, my hope is it's around and around on the offense. My hope is hopefully that, if they don't, make change with Brian Johnson and everything. And he continue, which most likely that's what's gonna happen. Continue to call the offensive plays, and he continue to do that. My my hope is on the offense is that they dial in the game plan. Like, you know, they gonna have to score. Like, they gonna have to score. Like, we would have games that, especially that 49ers game, that they scored 6 possessions, like, on our defense. Like, we gotta do the same thing. Like, we gotta score. Every time we get that ball, we gotta march down the field, control the time possession, and score in that red zone. Like, we have to score. We have to score. We have to get this offense ready and right. That's my only hope is on the offense, because we have the players. We have the players in it. That being said, we do have some injuries because of the Giants game, which is crazy. How do you get injured on a game you trying to just warm up until to the playoffs? How, like, what would they actually doing? Like, they I'm not so upset as the loss, which is crazy. Oh, we lost again. It is what it is. But that's what's been going on. I'm not so much upset at the loss, and I'm not so much upset as how we lost. I am disappointed, but that's not so much as my focus on. Like, it happens at the end of the game. It is what it is. We lost 27-10. Like, that's crazy. But it is what it is. Like, that's what's been happening. I'm more of upset on a point that we got injured. Like, how? Like, what? How you put your players in a position to get injured? Like, I understand that they have to be healthy themselves. They have to, things, but it's football. Like, these things happen, these plays and everything. I feel like they should have had got more of a running game going on. Should have got more of a running game going on, because that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to get into our identity and our image was who we was. Like, like I said, multiple videos that I had made, and I'm gonna keep saying it. One thing I just dislike of what they did this season is try to become something else. Like, especially on the offensive side, I can understand on the defensive side of them trying to find something different because of the new players they got. But on this offensive side, I didn't agree with them trying to find a new identity or try to find an image. Oh, we are trying to find an image when you already had that since last year. Like, you had an identity. It worked. Why not keep that and perfect it? We was a running team. Like, we ran with Miles Sanders and we ran with Jalen Hurts, and that's what we dialed up. We dial up some good run schemes. Reason why I took me like our run game is so standard and so regular this season is because I feel like they went away from that and they didn't dial up a good run game, a good run scheme. They try to force passes and force and become something that will we not, like, like I said before in my other video, maybe he didn't want to live under Shane Shane Tyson shadows and everything. They maybe he didn't want to live under his offense. Like, he didn't want to live under his offense and being his shadow of his play callers and what he had dialed up already for this team. Maybe that's what he didn't want to do. But at the same time, it's still a little bit of prideful. It's still whatever, because it's not so much be living in the shadow. You're not so much you using his type of game plan and whatever. You could, it was worse what works. If that's what works for this team, that's what works. His game plan might have to switch up for a different team. If that's what works for this team, he got paid for dialing up something for this team. He already got his money and everything. So if that what works for this team, continue that and just perfect it in your own way. Not don't go away from it and try to create something different, a new image, like what could go anyway in anywhere. Like, in the where it went is the wrong way in the wrong direction. Like, and that's why we struggled all season and we just went downhill since we was 10-1. Like, I just feel like that was just the wrong decision. They try to force an image that didn't need to be forced on this team when we had an image already, and that's what's showing right now. Now you are trying to get back into that image, and now you are trying to dial in plays and running and trying to get the running game going on, and it's not working. So you go back passing it, and then now we get predictable, and this is what happens. No, man, we should have on this game. We should have ran way more than pass. Get the pass going on. Rotate Swift. Got Rashawn Pitty in there. We're trying to get him some reps in, which they waited all the way into the last game. I would have thought they would have at least since that Seahawks game they would have put him in and get some reps in. And got the running game going on, and then but that's just been the coach's issues this whole season. And that Giants game, I just feel like we should have ran it to keep injuries unchecked. But look what happened. Now AJ Brown is injured. Now Jalen Hurts is injured. Now Devontae Smith is injured. Like your major key players is injured. What you gonna do now? Like, is this the coaches' decisions and the way they going about things is really hurting this team, man? Like I said in my other video, we always have a down and out organization. Like 1 minute we do good, and the next thing you know, they end up be doing bad. Like can we continue a good season back to back? Can we at least two good season? Like we always having a season we do good, and next thing you know, oh, we look different. Going to the next season, we look worse. We look bad. Like we honestly, and I gotta be honest, going into what I want to speak more about is yeah. Don't get me wrong. Let's keep it in. 11-6 is not a bad record. 11-6 is not a bad record at all. But the 11-6 of who we are doesn't look like 11-16. Um, but we are 11-6. The ball, regardless of the games that we won that looked like we should have lost, but teams didn't do their job. They was out of sync and they may mess up, and we collab over their mistakes. It's still a team win. We still won fair square. We won because we dialed in and we adjusted and we closed game. Like example, like the Bills game. They had a chance to win, but they mistakes and them being out of sync and them not sealing the moments and taking a chance on our mistakes and they messing up. But then on overtime when they did and they made a mistake and was out of sync and he threw the ball to Gabe and he was out of sync and they couldn't cash it in. Soon as we got the ball, we marched down the field, we cashed it in. Like we took advantage of the moments that other teams couldn't take, you know, and that was good. So I'm not going to say that we don't deserve to be 11-6 or we didn't earn to be 11-6. We still won those games even though it was a little bit of iffy games, like but we still won those games because teams didn't do their job. But at the same time, how we looking, it's just like, wow, man, I'm surprised that we are 11-6. And that's the thing. And it's only because of way through the on the going back on the off season, me and my boy, we made a video, a collab video, and we just went and talked about based on the schedule on all the teams that we was playing this on this regular season. Um, what do we thought what we think that our record was going to be? And I can't remember which one that he said not, but I know it was between 14-3 and 13-4. Like that's what we predicted, based on what we saw on the schedule. We put out the possibilities and just try to be real on a lot of other teams that we feel like some teams have a better chance of beating us. So that's why we put a loss on it. So like it was between 14-3 and 13-4. Like that's what we beginning of this season we predicted. And we off, like, and it's really because of the coach's position of why we're where we at now. And because let's be honest, let's just be real. Like honestly could have been 17 zip. And that's just how I feel. Like you could disagree with it, that's your opinion. But I feel like we had a chance to be 17 though. Doesn't mean that okay, 17 0, you're gonna go. We could win to Super Bowl and won. Nah, because we had teams that was 17 0 and they lost, and that's what it is. But I'm just strictly talking about regular season. We had a chance to be 17 and 0. To be honest, all our games, all our games was just because of uh, coaching strategies that just was just messed up a lot of these games. Only game that would come close to it might would have been like an honest loss, or just because of how it was going on. It was early in the season. It was the Jets game. That was probably the only game that will be mostly of an honest loss, even with good coaching, whatever. It's just one of those games that just out of hand. But it was more because the players were just, they wasn't playing a height they should play. But even that game, that's why I said 17-0, because even that game, we had a chance. It wasn't like they was blowing it out. It was a close game. We had a drive to go down and seal it. But it was just those little dumb mistakes that happens, fumbles and all this other stuff, drop passes. No, we really on all the games we really did it to ourselves, but you could say that with a lot of other teams that did it to themselves too, but I'm just speaking out of this. We really had, a really opportunities to be 17-0 because of how a lot of these games went, you know, because of the offense, like the play calling and everything. Like even the 49ers game, we got blown out of that game. It's because we couldn't dial in the offense in the red zone. We was up. We had them up. We had them up. They if we would have punched in the two times we went into the red zone, scored, they would have had to been chasing and playing up. Like you don't never know what type of game plan and what they would have dialed in, and how Purdy would have played that game to try to come back and everything. We had a chance to seal it. It was the play calling, it's the coaching that allowed that. The Seahawks play calling, coaching, that Cowboys game, play calling and coaching. Is we had a chance to really to be 17-0. That's my opinion. And that's how I feel about it. Anybody could disagree with it, and cool. But it's just crazy though with the players that we have on this offensive side that we really struggling to score and punching in. Wish we was doing pretty good for some time, but it just what happened. So anytime that happens to me, when you start trending downhill and you start losing these games the way we losing, it's always got to look at these coaching and look at what is they doing, what is they trying to do, what is they head at in these games, because we shouldn't be 11-6. We honestly shouldn't be 11-6, but we are lucky to be 11-6. Like we shouldn't be 11-6. We should be more than that. We are lucky to be 7-6 because the way how they was going calling the games in these past games, we could have lost for the teams that we won. Like I said, if the Bills would have been in sync and they would have took advantage of the moment, we could have lost on that team game. If the Dolphins took advantage of their moments that we cashing in over their mistakes and we came and we won, we could have lost from the Dolphins game. That first Cowboys game, if he took them, they took the advantage of the moment, marching down the field on us, we could have lost in that game. Like if the Chiefs, they didn't drop so many all those passes on key moments, we could have lost on that game. Like it's just not saying that people want to call it luck. People want to call it. I just call it NFL. Like that's how these games is. We all make mistakes because our team made mistakes too. We all make mistakes. Teams makes mistakes. Teams, it just sometimes on a wrong game, you end up making those mistakes. And we are fortunate to to at that moment time span of the season, we was very good at adjusting to teams' mistakes and adjusting to what the team was giving us. Going to the second half, we would adjust very well. And I always knew like we had to start playing above the sticks because sooner or later we're gonna probably start playing teams that's not gonna make those same mistakes. And look what happened. We start playing teams that don't make those same mistakes and take advantage of the moments. And that's what happened. And teams just we just start losing. Like, it's just wild. It's just crazy. Before I end it off, I just want to say, like I said before, I don't really have no hope for the defense just because of the players. They not ready yet. I don't see that they ready. That just mean now they might surprise me in this Buccaneers game. They're cool. I'm not gonna backtrack what I said. It ain't my fault. It ain't no Eagles fault. No Eagles fan is being the fault for not having hope or trust in this defense. Like we gonna speak and feel of what we are seeing. And this is what we are seeing. Now they do good and they imagine they put something together. Okay, cool. That's what I've been waiting for. But I'm not getting my hopes up high for it just because how they been playing all season. Like especially these last games after we was 10-1. Like I don't really have no hope for this defense. I don't really see. I don't have nothing to go off of. Like every aspect is just bad. Like I said, the defensive line is not so much as bad, but they not the same as last year. I don't know. Maybe they getting out of shape, getting up to the age that they can't. Besides with Hassan Reddick, he gets in there, but he gets in there, but how bad our secondary is like they get that ball out quick. He can't tackle him quick enough to 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 stop a play to get a sack. Is because soon as he about to, our secondary don't hold up long enough, and the ball get out. That's why third. That's why we are bad at third downs. That's why we are the worst team of getting offenses off the field on third down. Why? Is because DR teams are getting the ball out their hand. These offenses getting the ball out of their hands very quick on us. And that's the reason why we can't get sacks. That's why we can't get to the quarterback. Is because our secondary is just lost. We get in there, next thing you know, the ball is coming out. Uh, what can you do? For a defensive line, what else can you do? What else more? Like you can't expect the season that our defensive line had when we had 72 sacks the other season. I believe it was 72. You can't. I mean, you could get up there, but you can't expect that constantly because that was very big last year. 72 sacks. Can't expect that back to back to be like that. Now, if it does, like, then cool, that's amazing. But you can't really expect that to be like that back to back. Like, I do would expect a little bit more than what we had. But like when we are when we got the players we got on the secondary, it's not easy. Like, especially you're not playing like we don't have the same defensive line and we're not playing on the defensive lineman like we was last year. Yes, these guys could get in it, but they're not. It's a different year. And then our secondary don't hold up at all. It's going to happen. Like, we're they're not going to be able to get the sacks like they want because of our secondary. Like, and I just don't got no hope for him, man. I just said is my hope is because of the players we got. And I'm also hoping that, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith would get healthy before this Buccaneers game. I hope these couple of days that is going out, they start improving. And not only just because of the game, just because of the health period. Like nobody should want to go. And not really big. Like, Jalen Hurts with his finger, AJ Brown, I think believe his knee. And Devontae Smith with his ankle, I believe. But ain't not really major, but I still hope that they get well and they get better, healthy overall. But going to this because of the NFL, because we're talking about football. I just hope that they get healthy, for this Buccaneers game because that's what we're gonna need. We're gonna need them, because my hope is not in this defense. My hope is in this offense. We're gonna have to score and put up points to be able to win against these teams. Like, it might be all our games. If it have to be close games because of our defense ain't doing nothing, they're cool. But long as we put up points to win, like we just gotta score. We cannot kick field goals in the red zone in this playoffs. We have to get in the red zone and score. They're gonna have to dial in something. Like I'm hoping they are dialing an offensive game to be able to win games on scoring. These going. I feel like the playoff. Hopefully, if we get into the NFC Championship, and then hopefully, if we get into the Super Bowl, it will be because of the offense. Hopefully, it will be because of the offense. Why? Because I don't see no hope for this defense. But hopefully, if we win, because we putting up high scoring and we are scoring, and we outscore these teams that scoring on our defense, but they just can't score enough like we are scoring. And for that being said, that only can happen if our defense do something. Like they you can't outscore offense if your defense don't do at least something. Like they have to get some type of stop. Like and I could say thinking about that, I could say a little bit of hope that I'm hoping for our defense to do, just a slightly, just because of that reason. Just like I'm not looking for y'all because y'all I don't have no hope for y'all stopping no offense all the way around at all. But just do something. Just do a little enough. Like do a little enough to give our offense above the sticks, to give them to be ahead, like about for ahead for a touchdown or even a field goal or whatever. Like we win games, all our games we win because we won by a field goal by 3 points. Hey man, it is what it is. Like long as we won and we put up points to be able to win by a field goal, then I'm cool with that too. Long as that just means the defense did something, they did something. They ain't really do nothing through the whole game, but they did something enough to give our offense to be ahead. Like, and that's just what I'll probably say I have a slightly little hope that our defense would do. Like, but just because I'm hoping doesn't mean they are. I'm just hoping that they do because that's the only way I feel like we are going to win these games is that our offense is going to have to take over. But we just got to dial in the game plan, man. And that's just what it is. Like, I don't know what Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni is what is they thinking or what is their head. I ain't get I just I'm just waiting, man. That's just all what it is. So that being said, like yeah, man, that's how I look. We are 11-6 based on the players that we have on the offensive side. Not so much on the defensive side, even though we thought getting all these Georgia boys and everything, these Bulldogs, and we thought that our defense was going to be a problem for the offense. And when I say we, I'm just talking about the whole Eagles nation because at the same time, if you look like I always say, you look at my off season videos that we made, already know I wasn't getting my hopes up high. Like um I was happy because of what we did. I felt like, okay, we got a good draft picks, we got good everything. But at the same time, uh, based on the looking at the schedule and the offense that I knew that we was going to play, I knew it was going to be a different season to what we had last season. I always say, man, listen, like I'm hoping our defense do something. Like before the first game, before that Patriots game we played, I always say, man, I hope our defense do something. Like why? It's because when you have a whole new defense, new players, yeah, they are well known coming from college and everything, but they have to they it's a new game. It's NFL. Like they gotta play new players and get the experience and get the chemistry of the team. Like, we got all these new guys coming in, and we got a new defensive coach and showing the side. Like, I was I wasn't all we going. I wasn't. I always, if you looked at the videos, you would know that I always say, man, I hope the defense at least do enough. At least do enough. Like, I hope. And I would just I just kind of, I didn't expect it would be this bad, but I already knew that it could be a possibility that our defense could be in this type of situation, just because of that reason. But man, like, it's crazy that where we are at on that aspect on the defensive side, but yo, we there. Only thing we could do is just grow from this season, and the next season, all we could do is just you know pick off from that. Like, okay, man, last season was crazy with our defense. We saw what went wrong. This is what we're gonna have to do. Don't do not get rid of nobody. I know a lot of people, like, let me put this. I know a lot of Eagles fans want, me fire everybody, dismantle the whole team, get rid of everybody, want this and that. Come on, like, that is the problem. Like, that's the reason why we are at where we are at. It's because cannot keep a team. And we always dismantling a team with especially with something going wrong. But we always dismantle the team when something go right. Just like I always say, that 2017 season, we won the Super Bowl. After we won the Super Bowl, our team got dismantled. Next thing you know, we don't look the same. Nah, same thing. Like, we don't get the same. We don't have the same defense and the same team of last year. Wow, because we got really players. Now I understand a lot of it because of the salary cap plays a part of it. Trying to pay these guys. But sometimes you gotta pay people. Like, sometimes you gotta pay to keep. Because I always say, like, like I said in my last video, dealing with, we kept Bradbury, and we got rid of CJ Gardner. Like, all right, cool. You kept Bradbury. Rich, I understand that. Like, I never even last season, I never really gave too much about him. But I don't want to repeat myself because I spoke more about that on Bradbury on my other video. If you want to know more what I say, you can watch my other video, my recent video when I spoke on Bradbury, how I felt about him. But so I don't want to repeat myself for people that's watched the video already. But yeah, I never really cared too much on Bradbury as an aspect, and I have my reasons why I didn't. And but we get rid of CJ and we keep him. Like, really, like, I didn't get it. If we honestly couldn't keep both of them, which I'm pretty sure that we could have, to be honest. I felt like we should have kept CJ. Like, I know, like I said in my last video, I will say this, I will repeat on this aspect. I know that I said that a lot of, when I was talking about, a lot of people were saying, but CJ is injured, CJ got it injured, whatever. But playing on different teams, you play different. Playing on another team, you're gonna play different teams. Who's to say he would have got injured being on the Eagles? Different teams, different moments, different time, different things happen. That play that he get injured on probably would have never happened on the Eagles team. He could have been well healthy on the Eagles right now, could have been playing. Things don't work different, don't work the same all the time. Like, and who to say that he could have been very healthy playing on our team? Like I said, Oliver, I understand that he this whole salary, he wanted more than he could get more than then he tried to backtrack, he tried to come back, and we ain't agree with it. That's what I disagree with. I feel like we should have allowed them, we should have paid them. He probably would have took the money that we offered him the first time. He probably would have just took it because he had to end up taking something less. So but I guess that's another aspect of pride being involved. We probably looked at it like, oh, nah, you didn't want to accept, you wanted to leave, nah, we should have paid this guy because he was one reason why our defense looked the way they looked last year. Like we should have accepted him and brought him back. Like regardless of what reason, oh he left, he didn't want to, he tried to backtrack, he tried to go to a different team, but then it didn't work out. Then he tried to come back. I don't care about that really. Okay, yeah, he did that. We should have just still got him. He's a good player. They put in their personal feelings and everything of how they feel. I feel like that's what was that became in. We denied him, so he went to the Lions and everything. Like yo, like we should have got him. Like because that would have helped us. Because that would have put another key player that did good of going on last year. Like, we honestly missed that guy. And he probably sitting there laughing, like, listen, oh, this hey, that's what y'all get. And he would have all rights to. I would have laughed. Like, if I was the player, I would have laughed. Like, I don't care. Like, that's what I would have did. Why? Because you just showed me that you really need me, and you didn't give me you didn't first you didn't pay me what I expect to be paid, and second, when I try to come back and just try to come back, you still like I don't know, man. Like that's just how I look at it. Like, but yo, man, we actually have to change on this offense because our defense is just not going to cut it. I don't think so. That being said, going into this Buccaneers games and we playing Baker Mayfield back. Not gonna say that he's a quarterback and the Buccaneers this year is a team that we gotta be terrified of and scared. Not at all. They are very beatable, but at the same time, they could have a good game and they could catch you off guard. Baker Mayfield could be on his bag on that game. He could be on his mojo. Like, he could just be in clutch on that game. Like, and they have two good receivers, Godwin and Mike Evans that's are very good receivers and good duos too. And versus this defense, man, like we're gonna have to score. We're gonna have to score um so like oh man, our offense get it together because it ain't looking too good for y'all. You know, and that's just what it is, man. So a lot of people saying one and done. That's what it's looking like. Just because we're a whole mess right now, or the defensive side confused of what's going to happen. Uh, the defensive coach is confused what they should do with these players and what they should do. The offense confused of what plays they should throw out, and the key players is injured. Like so, it's really looking crazy for us, man. And I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't really know what to expect. I really don't. All I do is to go hope on the offensive side that they figure something out. So I ain't gonna wrap y'all up. I ain't gonna be repeating it and going on to say what I say. I'm gonna speak more to uh going into this events into the playoffs and what we should do, what's going on. Speak more about the injuries of how these our key players is doing um on this week based on during the games of this week. No, I'm sorry, not the games, during the time period of this week and everything. So I keep updates. I'm gonna continue to try to talk, keep y'all informed, and like I always say, let's talk about it. You don't hesitate to join. Go to YouTube channel. If you want to join in, you want to conversate, you want to give your reasons and your opinions of what you want to say about hey man, we could talk about anything. If you want to bring up your team and compare your team and my team and debate on that, it is all love of NFL. So, you want to come in and join the talk, do that. And just don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, follow. And yeah, man, like that's what it is. Like I said before, if you come from different platforms, you can also follow my Twitter right there. Follow me on there. Keep a head on these games and these videos and everything. So, but other than that, man, yo, thanks for liking, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for tuning in. And man, we'll be back at with y'all, yo. So to all my Eagles fans and everything, you already know Bird Gang. I'm out.